Hello, welcome. It's Lotus. Lovely to be with you today, tonight, whenever you are here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining. Um, I want to talk today about the soul-guided natural time. So I mentioned this in the April themes video that I wanted to talk a little bit about natural time, sacred rhythm. I already have a class on it, which I'll link in the description box, and it's a couple years old, but I'll share it anyway if you're interested in checking that out. But we're going to take a little bit of another twist on it today because a few years has passed. So I want to add another layer of nuancing with this embodiment process of our soul presencing. Thank you for the new subscriptions. I appreciate it. So please subscribe if you enjoy this content, if you find it supportive. Love to have you here. Feel free to give me a thumbs up saying, yeah, this really resonated with me. This was helpful. I appreciate that. I know then I'm speaking to you, that you're feeling the vibe, that we're aligning the vibe, so to speak. So I also just want to say quickly, I have a class that's coming up. It's not a class, it's a 7-day journey that is taking place starting on Saturday. The introduction for it goes out later this afternoon, but you have till tomorrow, Friday, to register. So it's the Essene Daily Communions, the Prayers of Life, 7-day journey. So I will post that link down in the descriptions as well if you would like to join us, preferably by about noon tomorrow, which is Friday, noon Central Time, so that you can receive everything that you need before we begin, because you'll get your Saturday videos and communions on Friday. Tomorrow. That's tomorrow. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the soul-guided natural time sacred rhythm, which really is what allows our deeper true expressions. Now, natural time sacred rhythm, I'll just do a quick recap because I have talked about this before in other little videos as well. So natural time sacred rhythm is how I refer to, right, natural time, non-linear time, meaning we tap in with the ebb and flows of natural cycles of the world, and we allow our inner natural cycles to align with those. That's one of the ways that we receive the utmost health, vitality, vibrancy, because we are interconnected with all of life. And the Essene journeys actually help us to really drop into this cycle really, really beautifully. The difference between that and mechanical time, right? Or the time that most of us schedule our life by on a calendar, right? That is mechanical time. It's linear time. So the way that we live in this 3D presents reality and time as being linear and structured. And it kind of usurps us, our energy, our psyche, our presence into a contracted form because we're scheduled, right? We wake up at this time, we go to bed at this time, we go to work this time. We're supposed to fit in, maybe our meals in between certain things at this time. We try to squeeze in time for our friends or for things that we want to do. We need to squeeze in time to take care of our families, right? So everything needs to be scheduled in order for it to flow in a way that we can be functional in this material plane. Now, it's only one version of this material plane. Natural time is when we unplug to varying degrees or as much as possible from the schedule timing. All right? From the calendars, from the structure. Because what that does is it disconnects us from our own sacred, deeply sacred, aligned ways of living connected even to our self. All right? It disconnects us from our powers of inner healing and vitality and vibrancy. It also, in that constriction, disconnects us from our creativity and having the energy, okay, to the energy resources in order to expand our consciousness. And when we expand our consciousness and when we expand our energy bodies beyond just an hour meditation, which is helpful, or an hour yoga class, which is helpful, but then we go right back into contraction. And so we get disconnected from our deeper soul presence. And when we're disconnected from our soul presence, we are also not able to tune into the higher frequencies of our true essence. Now, this becomes more and more important as our life is immersed in the myriad of changes that are happening within us and in our world, right? I've said that probably in every video over this last period of time. And then I refer to living from the inside out versus from the outside in. So natural time, sacred rhythm is when we reorient ourselves to following our own inner flow, to following our own inner voice, to allowing ourselves to rest and take a break or a nap when the body becomes tired, to eat or not eat based on, am I hungry, or do I feel like I just need to eat to get it into this time frame, or have I disconnected to the fact that I am hungry because I'm way too busy and my time and energy is demanded outside of me that I can't even think about what I need to do to care for and nourish myself. Now, this is going to vary depending on how much you personally are plugged in to that 3D matrix reality. So we could say that there is a matrix of the 3D, and then there is this beautiful matrix of the 5D and the natural time and flow. Back in Natural Time, Sacred Rhythm, in that first class, part of what we were talking about is start now, meaning start then, recognizing how do I want to live my life? And do I want to live my life with more freedom and more fluidity and more interconnection and creativity and joy and upliftment and spaciousness? Okay? because it's a process if you are tethered to a lot of the ties of this physical world reality, the programming and conditioning. So if you're tired of living from that, right? If you feel drained and exhausted, if you feel kind of trapped and tethered to a life that isn't what you now realize your soul and your heart is calling you towards, then you want to start making choices and changes now to unplug from those things. It's time to start assessing, right? What is the programming that I'm latched onto? What are my scarcity storylines? What are my fears? What are my doubts? What are the things that I want to create, or the education that I want to get so that I can change my life, but my life doesn't allow the time for me to do that? So it's about overhauling, really, our relationship with what is, and inquiring on a deep level into what is it that I'm wanting? What is it that I'm being guided to? What is it that, as this world crumbles and becomes more unstable, freaks me out? Because everything that I'm invested in is attached to this outer world, this expression of the outer world. And if that's not working for you, then it's time to start making changes. They can be small changes. But how do I want to say this? The inspiration and the guidance comes through expanding into more natural time. So let's say, for instance, that you only have 2 days off a week. But there's all these things that you want to do, right? It's like that FOMO, fear of missing out. Then you might need to let go of some of those things in order to open up so that you can start to listen to your own inner needs and inner call. This becomes the ways of gaining energy and momentum from within. Now, I opened up with that soul guidance and soul guidance true essence. And what I want to say about this is, the more that we're out and doing and expending energy outward, I've already said this in other videos, so I'm sure some of you may be getting tired of hearing it, but it's important. It's an important tidbit. The more that we're focused outward, the less of our soul presence is empowering and informing us from inside us. Because it is when we open up, when we let go and connect inward, that our energy comes home to us. This is how we develop our intuition and how we are able to tune into our inner guidance. We cannot hear our inner guidance if we are invested in the external goings on and events and activities and happiness. If we gain our happiness from that, and then we're alone, or we have quiet time and we don't know how to handle that, or we don't know how to settle in, or we don't know how to go, oh, I love this quiet and silence, and I love just softening into myself. That's where the magic starts to happen. That's when we meet us, not when we're exhausted and we're forced to take a break, because we don't have the reserves and the energy to fuel the consciousness. I said in one of the last videos, our consciousness and expansion requires energy and vitality. Vitality is an inner quality. Vitality does not mean, oh, I've rested or I've fueled up on coffee to give me energy. Or I've rested so now I can go expend everything that I have gained. That isn't the same thing. Living from the natural flow and natural rhythm means I'm kind of listening. Wow, when that sun starts to go down, I start to quiet. When the sun starts to rise, I rise. When it's a cloudy day, right? We go into our own cloudiness. We let the clouds or the rain ground us and soften us and bring forth an inner quietness and solitude. It doesn't mean that, oh, it's rainy, I can't go outside, so I'm going to like inundate myself on technology. That is not natural flow. It might feel like it because, oh, I've got extra time, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to hang out here. That isn't what we're talking about. The natural flow, sacred rhythm is tuning into your own inner realm and listening to what bubbles up from within. Your own wisdom, your own inner connection, and your own groundedness. When we are anchored in ourself through following our own inner needs, all right, and this is very hard if you have families, I totally understand that, and yet it can be done, okay? But you have to make very specific choices. And it becomes choosing relaxation, regeneration, and peace over activity or doing in an externalized way. We follow the moon cycles. We follow the celestial events, right? When those windows come for those 3 days on either side of the moon, we unplug. That gives you almost a week of doing less. And then if you feel the desire to go back into that old way, then that's your choice, right? So be it. That'll be you in your relationship with you. But when we come into relationship with the moon, for example, if we're paying attention on a new moon, we're going to really feel we get more tired, right? We get more lethargic. And if we aren't aware of what's happening, we label all of this as, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? I'm feeling lazy, all these judgments. But in essence, your body is trying to recalibrate through pulling you within. Because that's what the moon does. It wants us to come in. Right? This is the beauty of this relational intimacy with life, with the capital L. Now, for those who are, as you're going through your awakening process, and you're really feeling that call, like, well, why can't I access my intuition more? Right? Why can't I receive guidance? Why am I not, perceiving and sensing and feeling things that other people are talking about in the unseen realms? It's probably because you aren't anchoring into your inner resources. The mystic, right? The mystics in the world, they don't operate from the external governing system. They operate from the governing system of their own connection within themselves. And they connect with the subtle expressions of nature. That's the easiest doorway in to natural time and sacred rhythm, to allow yourself to be soul-filled, soul-wizened through doing the inner work and going through those initiations of diving deep and knowing it's not going to be fun, it's not going to feel good, but recognizing that that is where the freedom then comes in. An experience, I'm sure for many of you, has shown you that. That is a choice as well. And we unplug from all of the things that, people are sharing in the virtual world, and we go, oh, well, why am I just listening to other people talk about what they're experiencing and learning and teaching, and why aren't I gaining my direct experience? So mystics, we can also say, are like, in a version of the Gnostics, right? So gnosis and mysticism is connected to intuition and soul embodiment. It's all part of it. And all of the practices that we all are doing are meant to facilitate and cultivate not just the practice here and there, but the going deep enough and staying within for long enough periods of time, staying unplugged, so that we become those states of being. So we are embodying what we're glimpsing, and then we're cultivating deeper learning. So then we're walking that as a mystic, as a modern day mystic, or one who carries direct knowledge and wisdom, which is gnosis. So natural time, sacred rhythm is also going to keep you grounded and connected through your own inner power, grounding you into your own safety and trust within you. The world can do whatever it does externally, but when we're grounded and centered, sacred centering, sacred grounding, natural flow, sacred rhythm, it's all interconnected within. We have an innate sense of safety and security. We are empowered from within. We are connecting more deeply with knowing the subtleties of our beingness, the light, the God self that we are. And when we have that, our fears begin to dissipate. Our judgments begin to fall away. The division of the external polarities of pitting sides and people and ideals and all of these things against each other, that is all governed by the external 3D matrix. That does not exist when we're living from the within. And I can attest to that, and many others attest to that as well. That is a direct experience of coming home to ourselves. So if this is something that you're interested in, I am actually in the middle of moving. I'm going to be relocating across town in the next, I don't know, month. And my plan at this time, we'll see what the divine actually rolls out, because that's how I live, right? That's how I operate. My sense is that it's time to create a container to support people who are wanting to tap more into natural time, sacred rhythm, becoming more soul embodied, soul presenced, accessing your own direct gnosis, accessing your own inner mystic and true essence, accessing your own deeper empowerment through weekly classes, right? And online, we'll be doing it online classes of both meditation, activations, deeper embodiment practices, because I understand that it's challenging to untether, especially if you're not already connected directly to your alignment with divine source. And so that is going to be a part of this as well. So we'll be talking about it, up through that time. If this interests you, I invite you to please get on my email list, and I will put the link for my contact. It's already below, but I'll put it below with the other links. And if this is something that also calls to you to understand more deeply through direct experience, then I invite you to do this Essene journey with us. Contact me directly with that. And if this will be your first, gathering or class with me, if it's your first introduction, then I already have a sliding scale on it. But for brand newcomers that reach out to me, I'm going to give you more of a discount, okay? So that you kind of, you don't really know what to expect. You've never really worked with me. You don't know what it's going to be. So I want to make it accessible and make it inviting for you to do this 7-day practice. So reach out to me and I will get back with you and I will communicate. But again, it needs to be by noon tomorrow, which is Friday, okay, at the latest. So I want to put that out there as well. All right, so opening up to natural flow, sacred rhythm. Check out the class from a couple years ago. It's longer, there's exercises, and I hope that feels informative as we begin to step more fully into the age of Aquarius, where this is going to be the new reality that we have the option to say yes to. All right. Much love. Many blessings.